In a world where transparency is increasingly demanded, the shadowy practice of hiding wealth remains a pervasive issue among global leaders. Recent scandals such as the Panama Papers leak have shed light on this hidden world, exposing the secretive financial dealings of many prominent figures. The Panama Papers, a monumental leak of 11.5 million documents from the Panamanian law firm Mossack Fonseca, revealed how world leaders, including Iceland's then Prime Minister Sigmundur Davíð Gunnlaugsson, were using offshore accounts to obscure their wealth and evade taxes. Understanding how the world's wealthiest leaders manage to obscure their fortunes requires a look into several sophisticated financial practices. At the heart of these strategies are offshore accounts, shell companies, and complex financial transactions. Offshore accounts are financial accounts opened in jurisdictions known for their strict secrecy laws, such as the Cayman Islands or Switzerland. These accounts allow individuals to shield their assets from taxes and scrutiny by placing their money in countries with lax reporting requirements. For example, the Panama Papers leak exposed how these accounts were used by high-profile figures to conceal substantial amounts of money. Shell companies are another common tool used to hide wealth. These are legal entities that do not engage in any significant business activities, but are created solely to manage and obscure financial transactions. By funneling money through these companies, individuals can mask the true ownership of assets. A well-known case involved the use of shell companies to facilitate the hidden investment and transactions of politicians and business leaders. Trust funds add another layer of complexity. A trust fund is a legal arrangement where assets are held by a third party, known as a trustee, for the benefit of another party. This setup allows for the separation of asset ownership and control, making it difficult for outsiders to trace the true owner. Leaders often use trusts to protect their wealth from public view and potential legal claims. For instance, trusts were employed by several figures exposed in the Paradise Papers to manage their assets discreetly. The Panama Papers leak of 2016 was a watershed moment in the fight against financial secrecy. This massive data breach exposed 11.5 million documents from the Panamanian law firm Mossack Fonseca, revealing how powerful figures around the globe were hiding their wealth in offshore accounts. Among the most notable figures implicated was former Pakistani Prime Minister, and the documents showed that Sharif's family owned luxury apartments in London through offshore companies, a revelation that sparked political turmoil and led to Sharif's ousting from office. This scandal not only damaged Sharif's reputation, but also illustrated how high-profile leaders use offshore accounts to shield their wealth from public scrutiny and taxation. The Paradise Papers leak of 2017 further underscored the global scale of financial concealment. This leak involved 13.4 million documents from Appleby, a law firm specializing in offshore finance. One of the most surprising revelations was the Queen of the UK's investments in offshore funds. The documents revealed that the Queen had investments in the Duchy of Lancaster, which was managed through offshore entities. Although the Queen's investments were legally compliant, the disclosure highlighted the extent to which even the most prominent figures use complex financial structures to manage their wealth discreetly. The Paradise Papers extended the scope of financial concealment, showing that it was not confined to politicians in developing countries, but also extended to high-profile figures in the developed world. Recent developments continue to illustrate the evolving methods of financial concealment. For example, reports have linked Russian President Vladimir Putin to a network of offshore companies and hidden assets. Investigations have suggested that Putin's associates have amassed substantial wealth through opaque financial transactions and shell companies. These revelations, although still under scrutiny and debate, reflect the ongoing challenges of tracking and exposing hidden wealth among global leaders. Such cases underscore the persistent issues of financial secrecy and its implications for global governance and accountability. Offshore accounts are a primary tool for leaders seeking to hide their wealth. These accounts, set up in tax havens like the Cayman Islands, Panama, or Switzerland, provide a way to keep assets out of reach of domestic tax authorities and public scrutiny. For instance, Swiss banks have long been known for their strict privacy laws, making it a favored location for concealing large sums of money. Leaders often use these accounts to park money away from their home countries, avoiding taxes and maintaining a low profile. Shell companies are another common tactic for obscuring ownership and facilitating hidden transactions. These are often registered in jurisdictions with lax regulatory standards, such as the British Virgin Islands or the Seychelles. Shell companies typically have no substantial business operations but are used to funnel money and obscure the true ownership of assets. For example, the Panama Papers revealed numerous shell companies linked to high-profile figures, including officials from various governments who use these entities to hide their investments and transactions. Complex financial structures further complicate the trail of hidden wealth. Trust, partnerships, and layered investment portfolios are used to create intricate webs of ownership that are difficult to unravel. Trust funds, for instance, allowed for the separation of asset ownership from control, making it challenging for outsiders to trace who ultimately benefits from the assets. An example includes the use of multiple layers of trust and partnerships to own real estate or financial assets, as seen in the extensive property holdings of some political figures, which are often obscured through a sense of intermediary entities. These tactics not only conceal the true source of wealth, but also provide a legal shield against potential scrutiny and claims. Financial advisors and wealth managers play a pivotal role in helping leaders create and sustain hidden wealth. These professionals are adept at devising intricate financial strategies to protect and obscure assets. They also assist in setting up offshore accounts, forming shell companies, and establishing trusts. And for instance, prominent advisory firms like Credit Suisse and UBS are known for their expertise in asset protection. These firms have been involved in advising wealthy clients how to move their assets to jurisdictions with strict privacy laws. Financial advisors create tailored plans that leverage international financial systems to hide assets from tax authorities and public scrutiny. This involves setting up accounts in tax havens, creating complex layers of ownership through multiple entities, and managing investments in ways that minimize visibility. Legal experts also play a crucial role in this process by crafting complex legal frameworks to shield assets from scrutiny. Law firms such as Mossack Fonseca and Appleby specialize in asset protection and tax avoidance. Mossack Fonseca, for example, was central to the Panama Papers scandal, where it was revealed that the firm helped clients set up offshore accounts in companies to conceal their wealth. Similarly, Appleby's investment in the Paradise Papers demonstrated how legal experts assist in managing financial secrecy on a global scale. These law firms create sophisticated legal structures that not only protect assets but also comply with the legal frameworks of tax havens, making it difficult for authorities to track and challenge hidden wealth. The concealment of wealth by leaders has profound implications for global governance and accountability. When leaders hide their assets, it erodes public trust in political systems and undermines the integrity of governance. For example, the Panama Papers leak led to significant political fallout worldwide. In Iceland, the scandal resulted in the resignation of Prime Minister Sigmundur Davíð, and after it was revealed that he and his wife had offshore tax holdings in tax havens. This event not only led to political downfall, but also sparked widespread protests and called for increased transparency in political finance. Economic inequality is another major issue exacerbated by the practice of hiding wealth. When leaders and the wealthy conceal their assets, it contributes to broader issues of economic disparity and corruption. These practices undermine efforts to address poverty and inequality by diverting resources that could be used for goods and services. The vast amounts of money hidden in offshore accounts could otherwise be taxed to fund education, healthcare, and social services. The continued use of such financial strategies by powerful figures perpetuates global financial disparities, making it harder to implement effective policies aimed at reducing inequality and fostering economic development. In response to the challenges posed by financial concealment, international regulations have been developed to enhance transparency and reduce opportunities for tax evasion. The Common Reporting Standards established by the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development requires financial institutions in participating countries to report information about accounts held by non-residents to their home tax authorities. This initiative aims to close loopholes and facilitate the exchange of tax information between jurisdictions, making it harder for individuals to hide assets offshore. The Financial Action Task Force also plays a key role in combating financial concealment by setting international standards for anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing. The FATF's recommendations include measures to increase the transparency of financial transactions and improve the monitoring of financial institutions. These regulations are designed to make it difficult for individuals to use complex financial structures to evade scrutiny. Additionally, transparency initiatives are gaining momentum globally. There is a growing push for public registries of beneficial ownerships, which requires companies to disclose the individuals who ultimately own or control them. Recent legislative changes, such as the EU's Directive on Anti-Money Laundering, are aimed at enhancing financial transparency and holding individuals accountable for their financial activities. These initiatives are part of a broader effort to promote financial accountability and reduce the ability of leaders and other wealthy individuals to conceal their assets.